morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Andrew Grosset and welcome to the first episode. I'm so excited of Rise and Grind. Now, before we get started into today's publication, I'm asking you for something. And what I'm asking you for is your recognition of something that I'm quite proud of. Namely, what we're about to go through together over the course of the next coming weeks. Rise and Grind has been a thought process in my head. It has been a project I've wanted to work on for the last 2 years. And every video that I have put out on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, whether that be a 15-minute clip or a training video or what have you, everything has been practice for what we're about to go through right now. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take my first opportunity here live to give myself a round of applause for making it happen. Now, what I'm about to take you through over the course of the next few weeks is not just how I did it, but the little exercises and all of the issues, concerns and what have you that went on in between. Because one thing I've realized as human beings, the struggles are relative to the individual, but the topics quite often are the same. The insecurities are relative to the situation and what the situation entails, but the insecurity itself is still the same. Now, one of the first points of calamity, if you like, one of the first things that I had to overcome was working out, who am I? Now, that might seem like a very simple question to ask yourself and be able to answer it quite simply with your name. But as you get older, as you move forward, as you evolve as a human being, that subject itself becomes very, very clouded. It becomes something that's not known. Who am I? How often have you asked yourself that question, who am I? Because if you think back to 10 years ago, are you the same person now as you were then? If you think back to 5 years ago, ask yourself the same question. Does the same person standing here, is the person standing here the same as the person that was standing there? When I look at myself here and I take a look at the way in which things have gone and how life has gone for me and moved forward for me, I'm not the same person I was last week. The experiences that I hold, the people that I meet, the conversations that I have make minute little changes every step along the way. Your evolution, people have fallen into thinking or believing that your evolution happens in one go. You're falling into thinking that, you know what, this massive situation happens, big bomb goes off in your world, and all of a sudden now I'm a different person now, and that's the point. No, that's the point that you remember. That's the point when all the little changes snapped shut. The truth of the matter is, you changed bit by bit by bit. An argument with someone that you didn't like the way in which you came across, you didn't like the tone that you used, analysed it, changed it slightly. Now you're not the same person. More or less the same as you were before you had the argument, but you're slightly different now because the way in which you handle the next situation is now based on that one. Who are you is something you need to define within yourself. Who are you? Take some time out to spend with you. How often do you spend some time by yourself? Huh? How much time do you spend in your own company? If like most, probably not a lot. You spend a lot of time focused on getting other people to like you. You spend a lot of time focused on being accepted by other people. You end up waiting for permission to live, to breathe, to exist based on somebody else's understandings and their ways of doing things. But how often do you stand by yourself in your own space, listening to your own voice and have clarity? It's the first exercise that I had to go through as an individual to be able to come out of the funk of where I was, to come out of the situations as to where I was. Because the idea, the thought process, the decision, the thing about to make this series here came from a need to dig myself out of probably one of the worst places I have ever been in my entire life. I faced a lot of things, I faced a lot of struggles, but where I'm coming from now was serious. Because it got me to question my entire being. It got me to lose confidence in exactly who I was. It made me lose sight of who I am. And it took me a long time to understand that in order to start moving forward, not only did I have to let go of what had happened in the past, not only did I have to let go of the insecurities that were wrapped around the fears that I had that were associated with the past, I had to get to know me now. I had to get to understand me now. I was busy searching for acceptance from others, but I hadn't accepted myself. And that was the major bit of it. That was the most important part. I had to accept myself because the version that I was putting out wasn't authorized. And the only person that can authorize you is you. My version wasn't authorized, so every time it went out, it got rejected. I'm asking you, I'm talking to you here and now, take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself and what you believe in. Take a look at yourself and your goal, and then decide, who am I? Both now, see who you are when your goal comes into fruition. Because if you can spot the two, it won't be the same. You can understand where your yellow brick road is. To not just where you want to be, but who you will be. And I'm going to wrap this up for you nice and neatly now and run along. In the meantime, thank you very much for listening. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, whatever comes your way. My name is Andrew Gossett. Well, thank you for watching Rise and Grind, and I'll see you again